Welcome back to Tam's Classy Creations, the channel where we break down projects so even a beginner can do it. Today I'm going to show you how to make reusable shopping bags. You'll never have to mess with paper or plastic bags again. Just make a few of these and keep them in your trunk. You don't have to worry about bags ripping either. These bags are really durable and will last for years. Well, without further ado, let's get through this intro so I can show you how easy it is to make this bag. Here are just a few of the bags I've made. Now this one is about 3 or 4 years old and they are washable. I've washed it several times, cold water, hang it, and it still looks like new. Now, I like the size of these. It is good for a good amount of groceries, but not too heavy. And I have a strong bottom in it, and it is made out of outdoor fabric, so it's very durable. I want to talk to you a little bit about the fabric I use for this. The reason that it makes this bag so wonderful really is the outdoor fabric. I've done a few with home decor fabric and they're nowhere near as nice. I mean, spills don't stick to it or anything, and I think this outdoor fabric gives it the durability. Now, that fabric comes wide, so I think it's 58 wide. And you only need 22 inches to make a bag, and you need 20 inches of lining. So I wait until Joann's has this on sale, 50% off the sale. Some of these pieces, I haven't spent $3 or $4 for the 22 inches. Now I'll buy enough to make 2 or 3 bags. I've made a lot of gifts of these, and all my friends that I've given them to love them. Now, out of the outdoor fabric, your base, you want to cut 2 21 by 20. For the lining fabric, which I usually get either a cotton, I like to use for these cotton poly mix, so that is 21 by 20. You're going to cut 2 of those too. Now for the handles, you're going to use the outdoor fabric and you're going to cut 2 5 by 22. Now for the bottom of the bag, to give it a lot of stability, you're going to cut 7 by 13, one cut, and you're going to cut it out of Peltex. It's Pellon 71F. Now it has a fusible side on one, but it doesn't really matter how I use it. Now, I told you that the outdoor fabric was wide. So what you want to do is put your handles, your 5 by 22, cut the length of your fabric. Then you'll have plenty for your 21 by 20 cut. Now for the handles, what we're going to do is we're going to fold each piece in half and press it. Now you don't want to use the really hot iron on this indoor-outdoor. You need to use medium iron. And then after you fold that, you're going to fold each side in, and then you're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch on this side and 1/8 of an inch on this side after you've done the open side. Now the next step is putting right sides together with the bag, and you want the width to be the 21 inches. So we are going to stitch, we're going to back stitch here, we're going to stitch all the way down, back stitch, stitch across the bottom, and stitch up here and back stitch. Now we are going to be making 1/2 inch seams on this. Then the lining is the same thing as you do with the outer fabric. Now we need to cut a 3-inch square out of both of our lining and our main piece. the bottom corners. So when you're measuring your 3-inch, you want to do the seam line, not the outside line. So we have the ruler on 3-inch and 3-inch. And what we're going to be doing is cutting this square out to box our corners. We're going to do it on both sides of the lining and then both sides of the main fabric. So we'll cut those and then we'll sew them. Now we want to sew these together, matching up your seams. You could either lay one seam one way and one the other, but I prefer on these to open the seams up. So we'll open this up and we'll match them. Let's see. You want to do the same to your lining, and then you will be stitching from here a 1/2 inch back tacking here all the way over and back tacking at the end, all 4 sides, 2 on the fabric and 2 on the lining. Now you want to take the bottom box of your bag, and this seam is about 7 inches long. You cut that 3-inch square out of it, and with your 2 1/2-inch seams you'll have 7 inches. Now we want to take our Peltex. You cut it 7 by 13, but if your stitching is just a little bit bigger or a little bit wider, you might need to cut it down a little. This looks like it's going to fit good. We may want to just trim a very little bit. Now, if you're over 13 here, no, it looks like it's going to fit pretty good. But you don't want these squares to come, your corners, I should say, to come beyond here. So what you're going to do is, I usually buy the stuff with one side sticky. It doesn't really matter. I take this Fabric Fusion glue and really fill this up and get a lot of glue on there. I put this down and I lay some heavy stuff on it and give it a few hours. So that's our next step. Then we want to take the top of the bag and we want to fold it down about 7/8 of an inch, just under an inch, anywhere between 3/4 and 7/8, and we will pin that. And we will get a little bit with the medium iron, we'll press that down. Now to prepare the lining piece, we did a 7/8 of an inch on the bag, but we want to do this a little bit more. I don't like slack inside a bag, so we're going to do this about a good 1.25 inches, and we're going to go around, pin it. And remember, I've opened the side seams, but you don't have to. I just think the bag lays flatter and you don't get any heavy seams. So we will go around the bag. Now I'll press that in. Now the first step here is to measure 6 inches over from the side seam. And I'm going to make a mark on each side. 6 inches. We are working now on the inside, where the seams show, the inside of the bag. The bad side, the stitch side. What we're going to do is take our handles now we made, and we're going to line them up on the 6-inch side, and we're going to put a pin in it right there. That's where that goes. Now we want to make sure we don't get any twists or turns in it, and we're going to line the other one up on the other 6-inch, and we're going to move it down 1.25 inches. Remember, we folded this over 1.25 inches. Make sure that goes at least to that line. Now what we're going to do we're going to make some marks on the right side. So see, you won't see this, even though we didn't finish the seam. This will all be inside the bag. It'll be like this. This is where we're going to reach in. Now, we haven't put any pockets or anything. With the way I use these bags, I call it my Aldi bag, you know, we're just putting groceries in. I don't seem to need any. So now what we're going to do, we're going to make a line at the 1/8 inch line about where we're going to stitch and the sides. And we're going to make it about 1 inch. Let's see here. And then we're going to stitch here and here. So we are making a box. We're going to stitch a box all around, and then we're going to go through the center, come back over and stitch. And we're going to do that to both sides, to all 4. We're going to do this side, and then on the other side we would measure over 6 inches again. And we're going to put the other handle on the other side. So we do have to finagle the machine to go around these corners, you know, to stitch. We're going to try to stay in this line where this seam is here on the handle. So I would start stitch down, down, crossed, up, over, down, down again. Doesn't hurt to go over and give that handle some stability, and back up, and make sure you back tack when you're done. And we're going to do that on all 4. Now we have our lining done with the wrong side out. Here is the bag. Now we have it folded down the 7/8 of an inch. Now we need to turn this right side out. So the glue will have dried here. Make sure you don't have anything that's lifting, or you need to re-glue. So now we're going to turn this. And this is a really simple bag. All we're going to do is stuff the lining in the bag, and we're going to line up the side seams. We'll either pin them or clip them. We're going to make sure they're even with the lining not sticking out. And we're going to finish pinning it all around. Make sure those handles are inside, just like this. And we are going to stitch 1/8 of an inch from the top here, catching both the lining, if we have them even, catching the lining and the fabric. Now I like stitching from the outside of the bag because that's what you really see. Now with a medium hot iron, I will make some creases in the bag here along that Peltex, and I'll make them up the sides from here down. And what happens when you do that is right when you're done using it, they fold right back up so easily. Now, a final thing, I haven't had to do it, but you could go over where the handles are back and forth a couple times, but I haven't had to do that, and my bags are fine. That's it for today. You have your own bag now for shopping or whatever you choose to use it for. I hope you like this idea for a bag. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any projects you'd like to see me do on a video, leave that in the comments also. Would love some feedback from everyone. Well, that's all I have for you today. See you in the next video.